Most local business owners don't need more information. What they need is clarity. They're drowning in Instagram tips, more AI tools to post 3 times a day advice, but still not seeing the results. And that's exactly why we here at Next Step Social started doing lunch and learns, not to just teach theory, not to pitch our services, but to give business owners a place to ask real questions, understand what actually matters, and to leave with a strategy that they can use that very same day. And today, I'm sitting down with the COO and co-owner of Next Step Social, the one and only Shawn Quintero, to talk about why these lunch and learns exist, how we run them, and what makes them work. Let's dive in. Welcome to Rocky Mountain Marketing. I'm your host, Katie Brinkley. Join us as we dive deep with the world's leading digital marketing experts every single Tuesday. It's all about giving you the strategies that are working right now, directly from those who are making an impact. With my 20 years of experience, I'm here to help you navigate the world of digital marketing. Whether you're looking to sharpen your skills or transform your business, you're in the right place. Let's get started on today's journey to success. Shawn, thank you so much for joining me on another episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I love these episodes where you and I can sit down and really dive into the nitty-gritty behind what we do here at Next Step Social. Hopefully, it gives some people a little bit of behind-the-scenes idea of what it's like to work with us. It lets them know a little bit more about what it's like to work with a marketing agency beyond just what they see on Instagram. I see a lot of people just sell or advertise like the shiny object syndrome or the shiny like bells and whistles. And one thing that you and I really focus on here at Next Step is the strategy. And I'm really excited for today's conversation. And it's the first one of 2026. So we decided to talk about lunch and learns. And it's something that we've really focused on towards the end of 2025. We saw a lot of great results with it. A lot of businesses were bringing both of us in. You're in California, I'm in Colorado, to teach these lunch and learns. So let's talk a little bit about it. So let's start with the obvious question. Why did we even start hosting lunch and learns?
Yeah, so you have to understand that lunch and learns are a pretty old tactic they come from like the 70s, 80s, 90s, even early 2000s before the internet age, where you could just join a webinar, on Zoom. This is where you would actually be invited into a company and you would teach. You'd bring lunch in and you'd teach and you'd see an incredible results immediately. And so we kind of wanted to go back to some relational marketing. We wanted to connect with some real people in real life and speak with not just some business owners, but also their staff. What's really incredible is we've seen this time and time again where you have incredible staff who know how to play on social. They do it with their personal stuff. Maybe they're creating TikToks, they're dancing at home, maybe they're creating reels with their kids, and they're very familiar with the platforms, but at work, they're not really leveraging it. It's an under leveraged skill. And so what we do is we go in, we train your staff on how to leverage social media content for the company so that you have not just one, but your entire team as content creators. There's this new term that's really emerging within the digital space called the internal influencer. And what that means is faceless brands are really having a hard time creating any kind of online momentum. Why? Because people don't connect with brands or logos, they connect with real people. And so you probably have a business brand and you're probably trying to leverage a little bit of your personal brand, or you should be. But what if you could have somebody internal, maybe that's you, or maybe that's one of your team members, your staff members, who could be the embedded or internal influencer for your company? The person who's creating content, who's dancing on TikTok, who's doing the things that get attention on those platforms. So we show people you don't have to dance on TikTok to get attention, but here's what you can actually do. Here's what a hook is, how you leverage trending audio. Here is the different types of posts you can create. And here's how you can do it within 30 seconds to a minute in just your everyday work hours. We go in, we bring lunch, we typically bring in pizza or sandwiches on us, and we train your staff on how to do it. Why? Because we want to go back and leverage some of that relational marketing. We want to empower you and your team, and we want to see you get some immediate results. It's pretty cool going in, and we actually have a challenge sometimes with the team members posting something right then and there, right after learning how to do it. And you start seeing, oh, wow, this was our most engaged with post since, forever. Or like, oh, wow, that was so much easier than I thought. But we go through, compliance, regulation, policies on how to make sure you're protecting your brand. But it's really fun and it allows us to kind of get out of the office and away from the computer and right there in your space.
Well, both of us are keynote speakers. We do a lot of public speaking. You actually were just in Vegas speaking at an event. I was just in Orlando speaking at an event. And one thing about Next Step is that we are very education first. And with doing these lunch and learns, I think it really fits into our overall philosophy of education first marketing. And like you said, these have been around forever. Lunch and learns have. And so it definitely fits into that overall philosophy of education first marketing that really aligns with Next Step Social so seamlessly. I want to talk about our lunch and learns and how they really differentiate from a generic workshop because we're not just going in and doing workshops for these businesses. So there's a lot of free workshops out there. What makes ours different?
By the end of a workshop, typically you have a ton of notes. You've taken a ton of notes, and then those notes go live in a drawer somewhere, and then you don't do anything with them. Maybe you're more informed. Maybe you start noticing things on social that you didn't notice before, but then nothing really changes. What we really want to do is connect with your staff and literally walk them through here is how you do this right now. And here is how it benefits your team. Here's how it benefits your company. Typically, social media is designed to do two things to bridge the education gap. Typically, you have clients or patients or people coming into your space, and you got to do a little bit of like educating them on here's how we do it, here's what we do, here's, the cost, and here's the time, and here's, what it takes to get results. So you're doing a lot of education. What if you had someone who had binged your social media content and they were already educated and ready to buy from you? So, number one, you're able to bridge that education gap, which causes number two, you to accelerate your sales cycles. People are able to buy quicker, faster, more confidently from you because they know that you're showing up online consistently. They build a relationship with your embedded influencer. You are able to connect with your audience in a way that typically takes a lot of time in person. So, if you're looking to bridge that education gap and accelerate that sales cycle, what we do in that lunch and learn is show you the exact tactics and strategy to do that. Katie, you mentioned strategy being at the forefront of what we do. A channel isn't strategy. I'm on TikTok. Okay, cool. That's awesome. You're showing up, but that's not a strategic way to convert more leads into becoming clients or more clients into becoming higher paying or more frequent paying customers. How do we strategically leverage social so that you're able to get more sales coming in, that there's a bottom line impact for you and not just likes on a page?
Yeah. And for those of you that are listening right now and you're saying, man, this sounds amazing, send us a message, send us an email to support@nextstep.social. We would love to do a lunch and learn for you if you are in the Southern California or if you're in the Colorado area. Shawn or I would be happy to do a lunch and learn for you or your business. Send a message to us at support@nextstep.social. And one of us would be happy to do a lunch and learn for you and your practice. Or if you know of somebody that this would be a great fit for, send this episode to them. Absolutely. The more people that listen to Rocky Mountain Marketing, the more we all learn, right? The more that we can all grow our businesses together. And I think that that's one of the biggest misconceptions with social media, with digital marketing, is that there is a one size fits all. Like, oh, well, you're just not posting to TikTok. Well, you got to post to TikTok and then that'll solve your problems. Or, oh, you just need to do X. No, everybody's strategy is different. And so this is where having a digital marketing team come in, do a strategy with you, and really figure out what's going to be the best solution for you will make that difference. So, Shawn, I want to talk about one thing that we do with these strategy sessions or with these lunch and learns is we really focus so much on giving people clarity over complexity. So why do we focus so much on that?
Yeah, when you're clear, you can take faster action. And so we don't provide, 16-step roadmaps or systems during these lunch and learns because the truth is you're going to see it, it'll sound cool, but you're not going to implement it. You already have 17 hats you're wearing and your staff is probably overworked and underutilized. And so we don't want to give anybody another job, but what we do want to do is show you a simple, natural, organic way to show up online in such a way that people want to say yes to your next promotion, your next offer, whatever it is you're advertising. And so we want to come in and just give you clarity. It's one of my favorite moments during a lunch and learn is when you start seeing heads click and like, oh, it's that easy. I could just do that right now.
Hmm.
And then they do it, and then they start, like, getting really great engagement online. So, it's one way to recognize that it can be easy, it can be simple, and it doesn't have to be overcomplicated. We're just gonna come in, give you a very clear roadmap, clear set of actions that you can do to get more engagement online.
And I think a lot of people walk away with confidence when after these lunch and learns. It like you say, oh, it can be that easy. And one thing that I know that when we put these lunch and learns together is we make sure it's not just another inspirational talk that we're giving. Why is confidence such an underrated takeaway for these businesses?
Yeah, your team is incredibly capable of doing a lot. And sometimes, as leaders, we run teams and we have staff members. Sometimes they just don't know they have permission to play in a certain way or to perform in a certain way. And sometimes they've just not been given a platform to show up in a certain way. So when we come in, typically we're coming into an existing meeting, right? You have your Thursday meetings at 12 p.m. We just kind of fit in one of those slots. We bring lunch, like I said, and this is a chance for you as the business owner to impart and empower and educate your staff for them to be able to learn something brand new and then to feel confident, being able to say, oh, I can do this. One of my favorite things personally as a leader is when somebody comes to me with an idea because it means they're thinking about things that normally only I think about as the business owner, only you think about as a business owner, Katie. So when somebody comes and says, hey, I found a way to help the business grow, to show up in a different way, to get more leads, to generate more sales. That's the most exciting thing. And what we're doing is empowering your team to come to you with ideas and ways to show up and grow the business.
So, and one of the things I want to make sure that we keep clear is that this is not a sales pitch when with these lunch and learns. This how do we balance these educational lunch and learns without them turning into a sales pitch? A lot of people might be thinking like, "Oh yeah, you're just coming in to pitch my company." So, how do we balance that?
Yeah, we just don't. We don't do any pitching right there. And, obviously this is an opportunity for us to showcase what we know and showcase what our team is capable of. But that's not the right time for a pitch and we don't want to make it awkward and weird. Most of the time we have a separate conversation with the business owner if what we say in the lunch and learn is really exciting for them and they're like, "Hey, this is really cool. Let's chat." At that point, then we'll set up a separate meeting where typically we do an audit of your marketing materials, see where you're really shining, how we can best support you. But that's really kind of secondary to our primary goal, which is to come in, educate your staff. Like the best testimonial that we get from these lunch and learns is twofold. One, 3 months later, we start seeing their feed, seeing them in our feed because we follow them, and like, oh, they're using our stuff. That's amazing.
Yeah.
And the second is a referral. Hey, I know somebody who could benefit from your services. Let me connect you with someone. So those are the things that we absolutely love doing and we like playing in our backyards. It's so easy in kind of a digital world to stay behind a computer, but we like getting into the real world, into our real cities and regions and getting to know business owners and networking and connecting. I think
Yeah.
when we have a collaborative perspective, all boats, all tides raise all boats. So
Yeah.
a rising tide raises all boats. So we want to see you win, and I think in turn we win as well.
So, one of the things that's really great that I think that has been awesome for Next Step this past year was we did win Best Digital Marketing Agency for Inglewood, Colorado. And it was a huge honor for us to get that award. The plaque is in the mail, which is exciting. When as a local business, that's such an honor. And I think that that's one of the things where you get excited when you see other local businesses win. And so for us, how do these lunch and learns help support other local businesses in the local business ecosystem?
Yeah, like I said, we like playing in our own backyard. We like supporting our local community, our local business community specifically, because we know how hard it is to scale a growing business. We've done it ourselves. We know what it's like to run teams and to make difficult decisions and to try and get, try to market during off season and try to get leads during slow season and, try to get more traffic in the door and then try to keep quality of service high. And like we know what it's like as business owners ourselves. And so if there's a way we can make it easier, lighter when it comes to your social media presence, then we want to do that and kind of support our local community.
How does this approach help build that trust though? But long before someone becomes a client, like I know that I've talked on this podcast many times about how having a podcast is kind of that long form trust builder. How does doing a lunch and learn maybe help build trust long before?
Yeah. So typically what happens is you start seeing quick wins. And as a business owner, that's always exciting. Start seeing momentum. You start seeing your staff excited about the possible work. And then we want you to get to the point where you have scaled your work so much that you want a professional team to come in. Sometimes that's immediate. You realize, okay, great. I just want to pay you and have you manage our social media accounts organically. And sometimes that's, 6 months later, you have used everything we've learned. You've grown your company and now you're ready to level up to a professional to kind of take your next step to next step social and podcasting. So the goal really is for you to get quick wins and for you to grow so big that you need to hire us to get to that next level.
So, for everyone listening right now, maybe it's a realtor that's listening, or maybe it's somebody that maybe it's a chiropractor that's listening, or somebody that owns a med spa. They're saying, "How on earth could I do a lunch and learn from my business?" Let's flip the script and have somebody that's maybe listener, and how could they do this for their business?
Yeah, so I'll speak to the real estate side because as somebody who's owned real estate companies, that's really how we've grown those companies as well. Is a you could easily bring in lunch. Let's say you're a real estate agent to a mortgage company, to a title company, to an insurance company. That's a very easy way to connect with other verticals that you are already interacting with and expand your networks, expand your referral partners. That's a very easy way for you to kind of build that local network of referral partners like I mentioned. If you're a chiropractor, right, there's going to be other verticals that you work with. You're going to work with, you could potentially get referrals from med spas. You can get referrals from doctors. You can get referrals from physical therapists. You can get, referrals from a variety of things. So go look at the verticals and the other companies that support or supplement what you do, or would send referrals your way and say, hey, I'd love to just train you guys on what I do and how you guys can, leverage this as well. Um, I'll bring in lunch and we can kind of connect afterwards. So just think about this as an opportunity for you to network and connect with your local business partners, business community that can eventually become referral partners.
If you are a local business owner who wants clarity and not overwhelm, again, like I said earlier, we host lunch and learns designed to help you actually understand your marketing, not just chase trends. You can sign up for these lunch and learns by reaching out to us, support at nextstep.social. Connect with either Shawn or I on social media, LinkedIn or Facebook or the Gram. Those are the best ways to connect with us. Shawn, any final comments or ideas on lunch and learns before we wrap up today's interview?
Yeah, just think about, take a step back from lunch and learns and think about the impact and power of relationship. I'm a big believer that every opportunity you'll ever have is on the other side of a conversation with a real person. And that relationships can be leveraged years and years and years longer than anything else, than, the ad that you're putting out today, the, social post that you're putting out today, the podcast you're publishing today. All of that, that's in phenomenal content, but relationships are at the key foundation of it all. And so, whatever it is you're doing, keeping relationships at the forefront of it, connecting with and supporting your local business community, that will give you such a high yield return for years and years to come. So go build relationships, go connect with more people, and watch what that does for your traffic, for your referrals, for your clientele. It'll have an exponential impact.
Yeah, if there's one thing I want you guys to take away from this conversation, it's this: you don't need more marketing tactics. You need clarity. That's why we host these lunch and learns, not to overwhelm business owners, not to sell in front of the room, but to help you actually understand what matters to you and your business and to give you the confidence to take action. If you are a local business owner in Colorado, in Southern California, who is tired of guessing and chasing the trends or feeling behind, I would love to see you at one of these lunch and learns. Have me or Shawn come on in. You can find all the details at nextstepsocial.com. And if today's episode helped you see your marketing differently, make sure that you are subscribed to Rocky Mountain Marketing or check out Marketing Trends Now. That is the other podcast that I host every single Thursday. You don't want to miss what's coming next. Thank you so much for spending time with me and co-owner of Next Step Social, Shawn Quintero, today. Until next time, we will see you. Have a great week, everyone. This has been Rocky Mountain Marketing. Thanks so much for listening to this week's episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. I hope you're leaving with valuable insights and the inspiration to lead your market. If you've enjoyed our time together and found today's podcast episode useful, I have a small favor to ask of you. Please hit that subscribe button to stay updated with the latest episodes. And if you know someone who could benefit from these episodes, maybe a fellow business leader or an aspiring entrepreneur, go ahead and share this episode with them. Let's spread the knowledge and grow together. Also, I'd love to hear from you and continue the conversation beyond the podcast. Visit me at katiebrinkley.com to connect, to find more resources, or just to share your journey. And be sure to pick up your copy of my new book, The Social Shift, at katiebrinkley.com/book. Thanks again for tuning in. I'm Katie Brinkley, and I can't wait to dive into more strategies and stories with you on the next episode of Rocky Mountain Marketing. Let's keep on taking your marketing to new heights.